What's up, y'all? One Piece One Life here, and guys, wow, what a horrible week it's been for me. Genuinely, I don't know why this always happens, but my birthday goes really great at the start of November, and then the rest of November is always horrible. There's just so much going on that I can't even begin to process. It's just, oh my goodness. But you know what? Since I'm in the stage already of feeling so negative, and y'all apparently really like it when I'm negative in videos, this video is gonna be particularly negative towards one specific character, and that character, Monkey D. Dragon. I'm gonna explain what my problems with Dragon are, because this video is gonna be Dragon Slander, the man with no motive. Listen, if Dragon is one of your favorite characters, which I can't imagine he would be because he hasn't done anything to award that title, this one is gonna be rough for you to hear, but stick around anyway. But before we get to hating anything, guys, please like the video, subscribe to the channel for more One Piece content just like this every week, and share it around with all your friends who love the series. You know what we say, let's get it going. And make sure y'all subscribe to me and my boys over at CSY. We are the next big thing. So to start us off, let's not forget how Dragon was introduced to us. First is in Log Time when he pulls up and saves Luffy from Smoker. And see, from Smoker's reaction, everybody's supposed to be shocked because we learned Dragon the Revolutionary is a big deal in the world. And you know, him just being here saving some upcoming pirate in the East Blue, it's shocking. No one would think he would be here. Also, keep in mind that in the entirety of the East Blue Saga up to that point, Smoker with his Logia fruit was top 3 strongest, and he was putting paws on Luffy. And Dragon pulled up and stopped him casually, both physically and mentally. That was our first sighting of Dragon. But the first real dump we get is in chapter 432. So this is the post-Enies Lobby chapter where Garp pulls up and is explaining the Yonko system to the Straw Hats. And in the same chapter that we're getting the information about the Yonko, Garp is telling us that Dragon the Revolutionary is not only Luffy's father, but also one of the most dangerous and wanted criminals in the world. Actually, no, not one of. The most dangerous criminal in the world. His title is literally the world's most wanted man. So the first thing to consider is the fact that even though we're talking about the Yonko, the literal 4 strongest pirates there are and the closest ones to the One Piece, we're still portraying Dragon as even more of a problem than those guys. And keep in mind, this is back when the entire group were threatening and not having half of their roster being jokers. We see not too many chapters later that a clash between 2 of the good guy Yonko was literally ripping the skies apart. And yet Garp was gassing Dragon up to be even more of a big deal than those guys. So that's why, in my eyes at least, expectations wise, Dragon was already up there. And then you tack on the fact that he's Luffy's dad, and from there it's just over, because that's one of Shonen's unwritten rules. The MC's dad is usually going to be tough too. Just think Gohan and Goku, Trunks and Vegeta, Naruto and Minato, Gon and Gin, Ichigo and Isshin, Natsu and Igneo, Edward and Hohenheim. I don't even need to continue, the list goes on. And so we have all of that, and from there, what does Dragon proceed to do? I'll show you. In case you didn't get it from that demonstration, nothing. As we all know, Dragon is the king of staring east and triple dotted lines. Nothing else being said. Genuinely, we met this bum in chapter 100. We are in chapter 1100 and he still hasn't done anything. See, for me, the reason I really don't like it is because of the whole expectations versus outcome dynamic. Because see, if a character has low expectations to start with and then has a low outcome when they're actually on page, then I'm not surprised, because that's just what was given. In One Piece, we even have examples of low expectations but relatively decent payoff, like with Duval. When Duval showed up, no one thought he was actually going to be a big deal, but then even though relatively in the grand scheme of things he wasn't, he still ended up having a miniature character arc where he changed and then he was protecting the ship and everything. So I would say that's at least something. That's doing something. It's at least doing more than Dragon, who actively has not done anything. And that's why Dragon suffers from the same thing that Kid has, which was high expectations and little to no payoff. At least with Kid, it was little payoff because he was a bum, but at least we saw him fight. With Dragon currently 1100 chapters in, it's still no payoff. So that's my first problem with Dragon. He's just not done anything. I want to see something. My second point of contention, tell me why he's a better father to Sabo than to his actual son. Cause look, here's my whole thing, right? Why wasn't the same care of trying to hide your son away done with Sabo? What, cause Sabo wasn't your real son, it was okay to bring him into the battlefield? You're willing to sacrifice and risk the lives of other kids? And I'm not saying that you should sacrifice and risk the life of your child either. I'm just saying, just in general, what are we bringing kids into the fold for? And then on top of that, if at that point is when you decided to bring in Sabo to have him trained in the Revolutionary Army, why didn't you just bring in Luffy to train him too? And Ace too, but I don't really care about Ace. He has his own daddy issues to figure out, which he can do in the afterlife. And then on top of that, now you raise Sabo a bit too good, because now he literally has more motion than you. How the hell are people proclaiming your second in command to be the man that they want to follow over you? That's a problem. Now my third point of contention with Dragon, the whole Ginny situation. And before I even get into it, you can delete your comment because I've heard all of the defenses for it before. Yes, I know he himself couldn't go to save Ginny. I understand the story implications and yada yada yada. Trust me, I get it. Because if he goes down, the revs go down and blah blah blah. I know this, guys. Like, grand story picture wise, I get it. Dragon himself couldn't go. But Dragon, don't you have hella forces? You literally have people infiltrating places all the time. That's how people were able to infiltrate Dressrosa. That's how people were able to infiltrate Tequila Wolf. Literally, just send a strike team with Kuma to at least try. Kuma himself was raring to go, desperate to go. And you, didn't let him? Even if Kuma wanted to go himself, I'm sure that they could have found others to support the cause, at least try and go and help and do something. And then on top of that, people will say,
well, he didn't want to do that because he didn't want to sacrifice anybody else. What if they get caught?
Kuma literally has instant teleportation. I think they would have had a decent shot. I just think Kuma's backstory was the perfect time for Dragon to finally show us something, even though he wasn't the, main character of that backstory. It would have been a great time for him to show us something about either his leadership, his powers, his strategizing, anything, please. Next up, I'm going to talk about his devil fruit, because on my life, if he has just the regular wind Logia, I'm actually going to flip a table. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to tweak out if he doesn't have some sort of mythical zone, because even though we did just get done with mythical zones, the way that people glaze Dragon, he can't just have a regular wind Logia. I'm thinking maybe like a god model, like the Raijin, or something like a Thunderbird. I don't know. Now that I think about it more, I actually like having some sort of mythical god aspect just to parallel with Luffy's god fruit too. That would be pretty interesting. But like I said, I would even care if y'all are done with zones because of Wano. He needs something more than wind. In fact, because of his narrative importance, where he's probably going to be one of the people to fight the Gorosei head on, he definitely needs more than wind. But you know what? I'm actually not done with Dragon yet. Oh no. Let's head back to the Sabo point. And let's talk about how you had no faith in Sabo whatsoever. Dragon actually thought that Sabo offed King Cobra on purpose. Dragon was really there sitting thinking, you know what, Sabo, based on your answer, you may not even have a home to come back to. What? When Sabo, your second in command, knows that the objective isn't to take out the entirety of the government, but just the Celestial Dragons, you think that Sabo is going to take out one of the few good guy kings there are left in the world. Because of what? For the revolution? That was another abysmal point for Dragon. That just brought him even lower in my eyes. And then you know a faction that makes it even worse? It's Dragon fans. Dragon fans, I want to talk to y'all. Cause y'all got problems. Y'all need to stop gassing and talking about, oh, he can beat this character. Oh, he's second or third strongest in the story. We haven't seen feats from him. How are you even going off? What are you going off of? We actually have yet to see him in an actual fight. I mean, this man is more of a fraud than Mihawk, and that's crazy because Fraudhawk is egregious. People want to guess him because in chapter 1125 he's looking west instead of east. He still hasn't done shit. You know what? We're about to get chapter 1132, right? Oda, you have until chapter 1145 for Dragon to do something. And I don't want to hear people talk about, oh, but we're still gonna be in Elbaf. I don't care. Egghead has already shown us that with the final saga, we're still going to be cutting around to other places in the world. Just because of the nature of One Piece now, we need to be, converging all of these plot lines together. Dragon's plotline needs to start before it can start being converged. So Oda, you got till 1145. After that, I won't have belief in Dragon anymore. Even if after 1145 he shows us something absolutely amazing, I still won't rate him. I don't care. And I know it sounds like I'm hating on Dragon, and I am. That's exactly what I'm doing. But y'all, please let me know in the comments, are you a Dragon fan? And if so, how is your soul doing? And if you're not a Dragon fan, but you're just trying to be reasonable like everyone else, What expectations do you actually think he's gonna do? Who do you think he's gonna fight? What do you think we're gonna see from him? I genuinely want to know, so please leave what you think in the comments. That's gonna be the end of this video, y'all, but before we go, like the video, subscribe to the channel for more One Piece content just like this, and share it around with all your friends who love the series, or who love anime and manga in general. Remember, like I always say, I'm trying to build a community, and I need your help to do it. Well, that's gonna be all from me. I'll catch you on the next one, and always remember, One Piece, one life. Man, it's really sad to see that Twitter and Reddit have ruined discourse on One Piece and just anime in general online. You got delusional Dragon fans trying to tell me that Dragon is top 1 even over Emu. What are you talking about? In fact, I'm even beating myself up just thinking about how I didn't put them in my video about the worst One Piece fans from a few weeks ago.